afternoon, safety zoners, and we are back. Throughout the month of May, we're going to be doing various exercises that we do once a year, and we're looking at the M of STEM. That rhymes. Maybe I should trademark that. What the M means is maths. Okay, so obviously stretching that out, you can be looking at elements of counting. You could be looking at measuring, which obviously is very important for science. Obviously baking, you've got to make sure you get the right ingredients to the right level so things happen right. And obviously that's a very important component of science. So throughout the month, we're going to be spreading it out, and we're going to start off by looking at aspects of the EM, counting, and that's money. So here's a couple of videos which we've made about it. Now, obviously some of the activities which we'd normally be doing, we can't do because of, well, I'm coming live from the isolation station. So what I'd like you to do, or your parents and grandparents out there, is do a couple of activities with young people which will help build up an understanding, and above all, which is the number one thing, respect for money. We do find that's particularly quite lacking. Respect for money is important that you can garner at a very, very young age, because if you don't start to respect money when you grow up, poor financial decisions will be made. You do have to learn this the hard way. We've all done it, okay? We've all got a credit card and spurged and gone, why did I buy that Sega Dreamcast for £400? Sorry, a bit personal there. But it happens, and if you start building this up from a very early age, regardless of what your level of wealth is, a little bit of money. In fact, it's probably easier to garner respect for money if you have lesser money to give to the young person, because obviously being a more valuable commodity. So activity number one, what I'd like you to do is to talk to your child about their favourite TV character and how they treat money. Now, that's quite a difficult one for me to do. Obviously, pop culture, there's lots and lots of people. They may think of a TV character like Scrooge McDuck, who has got so much money, he famously jumps into the start of it at the start of DuckTales. You've got Homer Simpson, who said, hey, money can be exchanged for goods and services. You've got people in the public eye, musicians who may make it rain and throw money out. But ultimately, they're treating money with a bit of a disdain and a bit of disrespect. So by speaking to a young person about who their favourite character is and how they interact with money, you'll really sort of get to understand where that young person is regarding money and their respect for it. Okay? Activity number two is how much of what the characters do costs real money. Now, a good example of this is the TV show Friends. Now, in Friends, you've got Joey, who's in and out of a TV show. You've got his housemate, I forget his name, who works in Wall Street. So they've got a good amount of income, okay, but they live in a flat in Manhattan. Now, obviously, there's an issue with where the girls live. There's the rent control, but that's a side issue. These two people, so Joey's in and out of work. They have this pretty big 2-bed apartment in Manhattan. Now, for all the money that Matthew Perry, I think his name is, earns down in Wall Street, it would cost thousands upon thousands of dollars a month to earn that room. Now, it's taken for granted that you work, therefore you can afford this, when actually the reality is very few people in Friends, the TV show, would be able to afford to live where they live. And that kind of disillusion and disconnect with reality can obviously build up. So you're in your mid-20s, you think, well, why haven't I got a loft apartment in the Lower East Side of Manhattan when I've seen it on TV? This is what I should have. The reality is, obviously, it's make-believe. Okay? So really think about their character of what the young person, or who the young person appreciates, and look at how they sort of treat money and how they're handling it. And activity number 3, maybe consider good role models who have a good attitude towards their money. Now, sadly, there are more bad examples of money spenders than there are good, but maybe you have to look your family. If you've been lucky enough to be able to afford to buy your house or a car, you can maybe use yourself. You can maybe think of a time when something in your life you've worked or earned, really sort of saved for. Maybe it was a computer, maybe it was an item for the house that you had to work very hard or had to save really, really diligently. Maybe a holiday, a caravan weekend away, a trip to Spain, something where you had to put something away over a long period of time, and maybe use yourself as that role model if none come to mind. And this is just a good way of starting to engage with your young person in your household about the concept of money and how there is no money tree. Okay, yes, blah blah blah, paper, yeah, it's normally a good comeback, but the reality is obviously there's metal in it, so you can always throw back to them. It's printed on paper, but there are bits of metal in it, so if they say, well, money doesn't grow on trees, not all of it does, but by engaging with your young person about money will help build up slowly by surely a newfound respect for it and an understanding for what's really important in their lives. Okay, so that's me signing off with a couple of activities there. We'll give you a few more as the weeks go on. Okay, so stay indoors, wash your hands and protect the NHS. Peace.